An exclusive story by The Age, the Sydney Morning Herald and 60 Minutes aired in 2021, revealing how some of Australia's most dangerous crime bosses have organized themselves into a cartel earning an estimated $1.5 billion a year by smuggling drugs past the nation's border with the help of corrupt government officials and border insiders. An Australian crime boss has reportedly joined forces with the notorious Kinahan cartel to facilitate the movement of billions of euros worth of cocaine. According to a leading investigative podcast in Australia, Hells Angels boss Angelo Pandeli is a key figure in a global group that includes the Kinahan gang. The podcast, Cocaine Inc., alleges that Pandeli, 53, and the Kinahans are under investigation for attempting to smuggle hundreds of kilos of cocaine, valued at tens of millions of euros, from Colombia to Europe via Ireland. Pandeli is considered one of Australia's most significant criminals, and now the podcast suggests he has formed an alliance with the Kinahan cartel to distribute cocaine globally. Based on investigative reporting across 6 countries, the podcast reveals how criminals are outsmarting authorities in a cat-and-mouse game, as the annual street value of the global cocaine market reaches 110 billion euros. The Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission, ACIC, has disclosed that the supply of cocaine is at its highest level in 3 decades, with the Kinahans and Pandeli collaborating to saturate the market, both in Australia and abroad. ACIC Deputy CEO of Intelligence, Matt Rippon, commented, "The profits are immense and organized crime gangs are here and they are focused. In almost 30 years of being in law enforcement and intelligence, I haven't seen the scale of cocaine that we've seen consistently hitting our shores in the last 12 to 24 months." The podcast cites sources asserting that Pandeli's Hells Angels and the Kinahans have coalesced as the international cocaine smuggling business becomes more concentrated. Australian investigators postulate that his alliance with the internationally pursued Kinahans has established him as a global player, on a par with them. Pandeli features on Australia's priority organization Target's list, their national most wanted database. He's thought to have augmented his influence based on the potency of the Australian cocaine market, where 1 gram fetches around 215 euros, significantly higher than the roughly 70 euros in Ireland. The profitability of the Australian market has cemented Pandeli's role within the worldwide cocaine supply chain, according to the podcast. It also suggests that the exorbitant Australian rates funnel hundreds of millions of dollars into Pandeli's coffers and make him a profitable associate for the Kinahans due to his distribution network of Hells Angels associates. The Australian Federal Police have kept tabs on Pandeli for over 10 years. Reports from 2012 categorized him as possessing an extensive criminal history during his tenure as the leader of the Sydney Hells Angels chapter. His activities have caught the attention of AFP and police units in New South Wales, the Northern Territory, and South Australia. The Australian Taxation Office even used the Al Capone tactic on Pandeli, dragging him to court for neglecting to file a tax return in 2014-15. However, that charge was quashed at Sydney's Downing Centre local court in 2017 when Pandeli's accountant told the court that the paperwork mishap was his fault, not the bikers, who happened to be the Hells Angels Sydney chapter president at the time. Following the court case, Pandeli relocated to Dubai, leaving a luxurious 4-bedroom apartment with stunning views of Sydney Harbour behind. This is where investigators think he connected with Daniel Kinahan, 46, who fled there with his father Christy, 65, and brother Christopher, 43, during the violent feud with the Hutch gang in 2016. The 3 are reportedly still in Dubai, undeterred by the massive reward offered for their capture and the freezing of their accounts by American and UAE authorities in April 2023 when sanctions were imposed on them. Irish police want all 3 extradited back to Ireland from Dubai, but there's little indication of the UAE complying yet. Focusing their efforts on Daniel, officers want to charge him for the murder of Eddie Hutch, 58, brother of Jerry the Monk Hutch, an event which marked the beginning of the deadly feud that has claimed 18 lives. Cops also hope to charge him with directing an organized crime syndicate, a crime punishable by life imprisonment. This intel comes from the Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission, which says 9 Australian men, drawn mostly from Australian Becky gangs and Middle Eastern crime syndicates, make up what the agency has named the Aussie Cartel. The CEO of the commission, Michael Phelan, told the media outlets that the cartel's members are the baddest of the bad and estimated they were responsible for about 1/3 of the drug importations into our country. The 9 crime bosses have also developed extensive methods of penetrating border security, known as doors, giving them an unrivaled capacity to meet Australia's market for drugs, Ms. Phelan said. They share supply routes, they share logistic supply chains. They share among themselves the doors or the way to Australia. They share any corrupt networks they may have here to swap information to each other, Ms. Phelan said in the interview. While Mr. Phelan declined to identify the members of the cartel, state and federal policing agency sources told the media outlets they include Comanchero boss Mark Buttle, who lives in the United Arab Emirates, Hells Angels boss Angelo Pandeli in Greece and UAE, Triad-linked figure Michael Tu, Hong Kong, George Dib, Lebanon, and Hakan Arif, Turkey. An Adelaide Bicky boss recently deported from Singapore, and a Sydney logistics, port and transportation expert are also cartel members. Some official sources have confirmed that 2 members of the cartel in particular are believed to have government insiders in Australia and overseas in their networks. The cartel's founding member and Australia's most wanted priority target is Hakan Arif, whom The Age, The Herald, and 60 Minutes tracked down to Turkey, where he lives under a new name, Hakan Reis. Ike is suspected of cooperating with Pandeli and Buttle, formerly warring Beckies who are now working together as part of the cartel to arrange imports, including a $1 billion methamphetamine shipment into Western Australia in 2017 and a January 2020 importation into Melbourne. Why is the Commission seeking to find these cartel members now more than ever before? At this particular point in time, Australia is facing a very serious threat from offshore, serious and organized crime, Ms. Phelan said. I don't care about playing fair either. Absolutely, we're hunting them, and we make no apology for that.